Welcome to the concluding stages of the 2020 virtual 24 hours here at the legendary Nurburgring circuit. Nordschleife has provided wonderful racing as always, and while we're about to crown winners, there is also an absolute dogfight between Luke Stokey and Elimay Theodoulou to bring either the number 18 Honda or number 80 Mercedes of Franklin and Kately Arrow the GT Daytona title. We're going to see the overall and GT Le Mans winners crowned shortly, but as soon as there's any action in that, we'll also bring it to you then. 3 minutes after the 24 hours have elapsed, the number 9 Tauro V8 prototype of Campos Motorsport is making his way through Tiergarten now in the hands of the team owner and fan favourite Diego Campos. His most famous victory surely came in Formula Virtual in the United States, but this surely has to rank right up there. Diego Campos, Jean Matson and Nikolai Milkovic win the first ever virtual 24 hours here at the Nurburgring Nordschleife in magnificent fashion. They first took the lead at around the 9-hour mark, and against stiff competition, they haven't looked back. Bradley Downton's just brought a difficult race for the number 94 Downton to an end behind them, crossing the line just behind Campos. As we wait for second place, 23 seconds back in the end, but just not enough. It is the number 22 Porsche of Karl Beckenbauer, Adrien Simon and Rosendo Werner who are second. A strong showing for the Porsche RS Hybrid, which was leading on and off in the early stages of the race, never falling far from contention, but ultimately beaten to the punch by a Herculean effort from the Spanish Campos outfit. Itzel Santiago brings the number 12 Franklin Honda home 10 laps adrift after the reliability issues in the early morning. While behind her, Nathaniel Powers completes our overall and prototype podium. The number 13 Downton, capably driven by Powers, Kip Maxwell and Sam Hudson. It did fall as low as 12th at one stage in the race, but a wonderful effort from the team and the drivers sees them rewarded with the final spot on the overall podium. We've had another of other finishes as well now, including William Ingram and Roger Kinnaman, who've both brought their cars home, completing this mammoth race in GT Daytona, while Jochen van Snelheid has just secured 4th position for JFPT Franklin Honda, ahead of the high-wind number 7 car of Sergio Alvarez and Puccio Giordano, along with Hugh Dwyer. Meanwhile, coming across the line now though is the winner in GT Le Mans, defeat in prototype but delight in GT for Porsche, as the number 91 car is brought to victory by Stuart Harrison, Max Meyer and Alexander McLaughlin. A winning margin of around 90 seconds as we wait for confirmation of Will Hoskins bringing the number 19 Franklin Honda he shared with Felix Perez and Johan Halvorsen home in second. Before that though, we're going to concentrate on the Dottinger Hoa. The battle for GT Daytona honours is well and truly on. Theodoulou is just behind Stokey, and with the power of the Mercedes AMG GT24, she is in the slipstream and looking like she can make a move. Pushing, she pulls out. Stokey has made his claim on the right hand side of the circuit as they approach the left hand king at the end of the long straight. They are side by side. The OSM prototype of Ethan Matthews breezes by to lap the pair. Theodoulou jinks out to the left-hand side behind him, noses ahead into Tiergarten, the heavy braking zone with 2 corners of the circuit left. 24 hours and it comes down to this. Stokey squirms as he tries to stop the car on its heels. He's got the inside line as they both turn in, but it would be difficult to stop from there. Theodoulou is going to try the cutback. It's full throttle through the final corner as they both power out. I don't believe it. There's an overlap, but Stokey is ahead by inches. They hop over the bump where the Nordschleife meets the Grand Prix circuit, and there's the line. It's Stokey! 0.8 of a second is the margin over a 24-hour race. We've just been treated to one of the all-time great finishes in endurance racing history here today. That is absolutely extraordinary. Take a breath. You've just witnessed something very special. We say this every time. Just because the GT Daytona cars have some non-professional drivers in, the racing is no less spectacular. And boy, have we seen that there. Luke Stokey, Elimay Theodoulou, take a bow. That was just magic. Stokey, Daniela Mendoza, Jamie Franklin, you are the GT Daytona champions for 2020. So there we have it, after months of preparation from teams, drivers and race organisers alike, culminating in 24 of the most gruelling and exhilarating hours in motorsport, we finally crowned our winners. It's the number 9 Campos Motorsport team of Diego Campos, Jean Matson and Nikolai Milkovic that take overall victory with a half-minute margin over the number 22 Coca-Cola Porsche Team Mathershore entry with the Porsche RS Hybrid and Adrien Simon, Karl Beckenbauer and Rosendo Werner. While the cars return to the paddock, I'd like to thank you all for listening over the past week and month, and I hope that you've all enjoyed the first running of the virtual 24 hours as much as we have enjoyed bringing it to you here at Radio Virtual. Over the course of the test week, free practice, qualifying and the race, we've brought you over an hour of coverage, hoping to bring this race alive. There have been thrills throughout, with some extraordinarily close racing, culminating in victory for not only Campos, but Porsche Team Lapierre Brumos in GT Le Mans and JFPT Franklin Honda in wonderful fashion in GT Daytona. Next up will be the podium ceremonies, starting with GT Daytona. In GT Daytona, Jamie Franklin's team, JFPT Franklin Honda, took the victory with the number 18 car, with Franklin driving alongside Luke Stokey and Daniela Mendoza. In second place by only 0.8 of a second, the Mercedes-AMG Team Cately Arrow number 80 car, with Reese Cately, Ellie Mae Theodoulou and Jamie Gerard. Rounding out the podium was the number 93 Matmut Lapierre Formule car, with Arthur Lapierre, Heinrich Wallinger and Didier Arnaud. Fourth in class was the number 71 Highwind, with Henri Routselainen, Declan Byrne and Ahmed Chima in the Ferrari 488, while fifth was the number 3 Ingram car, with William Ingram, Isabella Garcia and Edgardo Agritha. In sixth, the truly amateur lineup of Roger Kinnaman, Alex Easton, and they're led by Lily Westwood for her eponymous team in the Porsche 911 RSR. While seventh in class, but actually ultimately classified after managing to get out to give Bradley Downton the stint to finish the race, was Downton McLaren Racing. So great performance there all round, and truly wonderful racing throughout from the GT Daytona category. Next up, we have the podium for GT Le Mans. In GT Le Mans, what looked like an easy win for the number 91 Porsche Team Lapierre Brumos car of Stuart Harrison, Alexander McLaughlin and Max Meyer was anything but, the 90-second winning margin certainly flattering the driver lineup. Second position was the number 19 JFPT Franklin Honda, that did lead the class for the majority of the race in the hands of Will Hoskins, Felix Perez and Johan Halverson. The number 92 Porsche Team Lapierre Brumos car rounded out the podium with Gerard Alaniz, Jules Barclay and Alexei Novosinki, while in fourth place, close but no cigar, was the number 88 Mercedes-AMG Team Cately Arrow car of Douglas Bacon, Rodolfo De La Fuente and Xander Brynildsen. Fifth position was the number 38 Ingram Jaguar car with Eric Olivershon, Roman Bishop and Jonas Phipps. Sixth for the number 17 Monster Energy Downton McLaren racing car a lap down with Ethan Knight, Casper Davidson and Luke van der Straten. The Bruner brothers were 7th alongside Shuji Fukida, Sean and Daniel, the pole-sitting 55 BMW Grey Autosport car, while the sister car, the all-Brazilian lineup of Jose Santos, Felipe Cesar and Jeromo Gomes rounded out the category. Next up, the overall podium. Prototype and of course the overall victory went to the number 9 Campos car of Diego Campos, Jean Matson and Nikolai Milkovic ahead of Adrian Simon, Carl Beckenbauer and Rosendo Werner in the number 22 Coca-Cola Porsche Team Mathershore Porsche RS Hybrid by about 30 seconds. Third position was Nathaniel Powers, Kip Maxwell and Sam Hudson in the number 14 Downton, while the 11 Franklin Honda was fourth in the hands of Nick Addison, Enzo Domenicali and Joachim von Schnellheid. Fifth position went to the number 7 Highwind HE01 car of Highwind Endurance in their first race in their rebranded form, with Sergio Alvarez, Hugh Dwyer and Puccio Giordano driving. Sixth position, beating out Thunderhead by just 9 seconds, was the Lucas Racing Prototypes machine, the Lucas Toyota, in the hands of Carson Davenport, Marcus Thunder and Maximilian Thunstrom. Seventh was Thunderhead in their Thunderhead MK006 Cadillac with Daryl Pollard, Reggie Abbott and Romano Agostino making a very good return to global motorsport. Eighth position was the number 13 Downton with Brock Kidd leading the lineup with youngsters Spencer James and Chase Newfield, while ninth was a customer Downton, the number 44 OSM Racing International car in the hands of Thierry Zylander, Ethan Matthews and Daniel Gentek. 10th position, rounding out the top 10, was the number 69 Veltins Porsche Team Westwood car with top dog Timo Kinnaman, partnered with Timo Ziegler and Carlos Zapatero, both members of the Porsche Young Driver program. 11th overall, just missing out on the top 10, was the number 42 Phoenix Motorsport car driven by Dominic Hansen, Callum Brandon and James Thompson. 12th was the 57 ahead of the 56 BMW Grey Autosport car with touring car champion Alexander Zazulia, Sebastian Bergqvist driving particularly well and then partnered by Luca Gray. Eleanor Hoagland, Nicholas Holtzberg and Dino Palmer were in the 56, while 14th position was the number 37 Ingram Jaguar racing car of James Vazquez with Ingram young drivers Urmo Kruder and Heikki Vashkila. 15th, the first of the cars in prototype to have hit trouble, was the number 21 Coca-Cola Porsche Team Mathershore car, finishing 5 laps adrift. The driver lineup of Olin Inman, Alar Kanga and Sebastian Vauquelin promising much, but really disappointing throughout the weekend from qualifying. Lewis Ellington, Yukumi Takahashi and Keith Murphy were unlucky to suffer with electrical problems in the number 8 Mercedes AMG Team Kate Liaro car, the Mercedes AMG 24P 2020, finishing ultimately 6 laps off the pace, but certainly showing the pace in the early stages to have been a contender for victory. Rounding out the prototype field was the number 12 IGP Franklin Honda, the IGP racing stars of Ryota Onishi, Jamie Davis and Itzel Santiago, unfortunately suffering problems themselves, ultimately finishing 10 laps off the pace. So there we have it. The 2020, the inaugural virtual 24 hours is complete. The Nurburgring Nordschleife circuit has been a wonderful host for the virtual 24 hours, and we've really enjoyed bringing you this first edition of this race. For 2021, we're going to have something slightly different. We're going to replace the Green Hell with the worldwide centre of racing, the Daytona International Speedway Road Course. It'll be in approximately 12 months' time, and we're hoping that we'll be able to see plenty of entries and plenty of action as we go across to the United States. We hopefully will see you then, and thank you very much. Bye-bye for now.